Rise, minions, and welcome to unMadeGaming. We are here for our monthly 12-hour charity streamathon. It is March, and it's time for our third one. Just so you guys all are aware, we are doing a giveaway. I will post that link in chat shortly. We hit $1,000 already this year, so we're doing a giveaway with one of our sponsors, Easy Roller Dice. We're doing another giveaway when we hit 2,500, another one at 5,000, another one at 7,500. So keep those donations coming. We'll be doing awesome giveaways for that. We are also sponsored by Mage Hand Press, and everyone who donates today will get a PDF copy of a bunch of their games and a discount for their new space D&D game called Dark Matter, which is really awesome. So as soon as we hit that goal, everyone that donates will be getting those kind of perks. We are also sponsored by unMadeGaming. That's me. So if you guys want to help the channel out, go check out our Patreon. And help us crush this goal today. We're trying to hit $10,000 again this year, and it's going to be an awesome time. We're kicking the game off today with Epyllion, where these guys are playing something that is loosely related to dragons, we've discovered. That being said, if you guys want to donate, check that donation section down below for all the fun things you can donate for, and we'll kick this thing off, and I will turn it over to Kyle. Kyle, please take us away to a world of dragons?
Dragons, question mark? Hi. So let's start off with going around and introducing us and our dragons and describing what they look like for me, and then we'll jump in. Who wants to start? Fish,
Okay.
do you want to start?
Yeah, I drew my dragon, actually. I posted it on my Twitter. I'm Mad Fishmonger. I am playing Berissi the Iridescent. They are a rainbow dragon. So all the shades of the rainbow. And they are a warrior. They like to definitely are all about protecting those that are smaller than them. They have horns that curl, sort of come back off the head and curl up. Very broad scales on the body, very tough looking, and a prehensile tail that's very, very indicative of their feelings. Very elegant looking rainbow dragon, but also extremely tough, and would be scary if they weren't just this sort of big happy dork.
Awesome. Who wants to go next?
Okay, I'm Bisonic Kevin. Kevin, nice to meet you. And I am playing Nivarik. I am a nature adept dragon, and I'm green and mossy. I've got antlers. I'm a little mossy furry. I've got a weird beak, talons, and a stinger, and I'm very, very small. It'll be fun.
Oh, he's a little baby.
Yeah.
Let's go over to Tayanite.
Tayanite. I'm Kat, or at Cleric of Cord. That's where most people know me as. I will be playing Tayanite, who is a daredevil dragon. And I didn't go daredevil. I thought about it, but I didn't. No, she's they've got a head frill that they use kind of like an air brake. It pops out to slow them down. Dark gray, streaked with light gray scales that glow iridescent in the moonlight. They have sticky toes, which I really love. I love sticky toes. So kind of like those lizards that go running across the water with the head frills. And go, that's what we're thinking here, only gray. Tayanite is from the House of Steel. They are a daredevil. They like flying and falling through the sky at a high rate of speed, and that whole thrill of just swooping in and doing dangerous things. They also have a companion. They have a pet. That's their bestest friend.
Who is this pet, and what?
Well, their pet is named Bob, just because it's Bob. And Bob is an odd combination of turtle, wolf, and badger. I haven't quite figured out how that works, but it's Bob.
Great, neither have I.
Sounds like a pangolin.
But they like, yeah, pretty much, yeah. Only with fur.
turtle, wolf, and badger. So I'm picturing like a badger-sized thing with a turtle shell and like
and really long claws and fur.
Hi, Bob.
Bob likes to dig, so we have to keep Bob out of other people's gardens.
Is Bob a cuddler?
Yes, Bob is a cuddler. He likes to ride behind the frill.
Awesome. All right. And Ronald?
Yes, I'm Dammit Barry. I am playing Ronald today. He is a purple dragon. He has curled horns. He is iridescent with a hardened skull, and he has a whip tail and talons and looks very elegant. He has also been touched by the darkness, so he's a seer. So, yeah. I don't know what else. I'm House Cabras, so House of Ruby. And yeah.
Awesome. Thing. That sounds like a lot of interesting dragons we got going on. When you guys were first introducing them, I was like, okay. And now we have like sticky toes. So we're off to a great start already. Okay. So we are playing Epyllion, which is a Powered by the Apocalypse dragon game. It's called a dragon epic. So traditionally you play from the start of a dragon's life all the way to when they ascend to be an ancient or a mystic. You guys are a clutch of dragons, which mean, and clutches are is like a loose term for like a selected family type thing. So you have known each other for a while, and you are like decided to join this this cultivation clutch together to work in the hatchery, where all the eggs are cared for by guardians. Epyllion's a really great game with like friendship gems, and they have safety mechanics built in. So I'm like really excited for this game because it has lots of good things going for it. We need to start with our fellowship because we are all a clutch of dragons that have known each other and have some bonds together. So we need to find out what those bonds are and how they how we got to this point. So if we want to go in order by screen, let's start with Madfish again. So let's go with Verithi, and let's talk about your fellowship.
Okay, so the first person has recently joined your clutch, and you are training them in the art of capital politics. So I don't know who that is.
Capital politics?
That's what it says.
I didn't read these fellowships beforehand.
I could change that since we're working. Yes, I'm just training them in how to care for the hatchlings. I'll change that. Caring for hatchlings. There we go.
Okay, so you have been doing this for a little longer than someone else. So who has recently joined this group? I feel like it should be the odd one out, Ronald. Hi, Ronald. Welcome.
All right. Ronald, I have a gem from you.
So just notate that you have a gem from them and...
From me or for me?
From you.
So,
okay.
Yeah. So the way gems work are, it signifies your bond as a between each other and how close you are. So by having a gem, you two are closer. And if Verithi ever needs to like use moon magic or something and call upon your bonds as a clutch, they can use that. In your next fellowship.
Someone has stood by my side in a fight against a monster of the darkness. Explain how they exemplified your virtue, which is humor, and give them a gem.
I've got something similar. Blank helped you defend a sacred space against darkness. Explain how they exemplified your virtue.
Oh, okay. What's your virtue?
My virtue is independence.
Yeah, that works.
So I cracked a joke at the right time, and you came up with a tactic.
Awesome. What's your name again?
I am Niverick.
Never.
Okay.
And you were Berith.
Birithi. Yeah, here, I'll put it in the chat.
Thank you.
And then my last one. So I'm giving you a gem for that.
And I give you a gem for that.
Okay. 1, 2. Okay, and then the last person was there when you were the most vulnerable. I really like these questions.
Yeah, they're really good. So process of elimination, that would go to Tayanite.
When you were vulnerable,
Yeah.
or I was vulnerable.
No, I was.
You were vulnerable.
Yeah.
Your colors were still developing, and you were having trouble. Your colors are still developing, and it was an awkward time, kind of like that whole puberty where you don't want to go outside and be with other people.
Yeah.
Because, oh my God, I'm so gross.
Yeah.
And Tana kind of stuck with you.
Aw. That's
And made sure that you always had somebody to be with, to eat lunch with or hang out with, and showed you that you didn't have to, when all your colors came in, to get out in the moonlight and said, see, when all the colors come in, you're gonna be beautiful.
yeah. Oh, that's sweet.
It's only 10 a.m. Don't make me cry already. Gosh, that was cute.
All right, so you have a gem from me then.
Awesome. Those are really good. Okay, let's move on to the next in the screen order. Ronald, let's hear about your fellowships.
Okay, so my first one is somebody's knowledge is unparalleled within the clutch, but they do not see the danger ahead. Considering Barithi has been training me, I'm going to assume it is them, and I take a gem from.
Okay.
My second one is someone helped save me from the darkness. Explain how they exemplified my virtue, which is creativity. Tayanite has that pet, which is creative. It's
To say the least.
Unique is the word I'm going with. So I give them a gem, which means I dreamed of Niverick long before the two of us met. I need to tell you what the dream was about, but you are the nature one, aren't you?
Is it that dream where you go to school and you have to write an exam and study?
Yeah, it's that dreaming of now introduce yourself and say two things that are true and one thing that's false. That initial meet and greet, and you're like, oh, it's that dream.
Great icebreaker.
Yeah, we both, and I take a gem from you
Okay.
because I'm a thief. Okay, they're my fellowships.
Okay, and Niverick?
All right. Blank was a voice of reason in your clutch when dealing with older dragons. Exemplify. So I'm going to go with Ronald on this one, and I give Ronald a gem from me. I already filled out the second one with Barithi.
Ronald, always the voice of reason.
He knew something. He told me. It helped. All right, and my third option is you have taught Blank to listen to an animal of the wilds. So I think pretty obviously that should be Tayanite. That I maybe introduce them to Bob. And I take a gem from Tayanite. Oh, and did I give Baruthi a gem? Yes. Okay, good. Perfect. And that's all 3 for me.
Awesome. These fellowships are working out really well. And Tayanite.
All right. Well, Niverick made me feel welcome in the clutch when my beast companion fell ill. They show my virtue is discretion. And so they taught me how to be discreet in my dealings with a wild creature to make them my friend. And so that really helped me, meld in with the clutch. So Niverick, I'm giving you a friendship gem.
Oh, thank you.
Excuse me. I think of all people, Baruthi taught me to not underestimate the darkness. In that, again, with my virtue of discretion, they showed how you can be colorful and yet not show everything. And we have to keep a part of ourselves separate because of the darkness and to not let that in. So I am giving Baruthi a friendship gem. And Ronald, you saved me from a dangerous monster. It was very scary. It was very scary. Bob was lost, and I couldn't find Bob. And you were helping me look for Bob, and it was scary. It had fur and claws and whiskers, and it went shh, and they went, and it was very scary. And it was very dangerous. So I'm taking a friendship gem from you, Ronald.
No worries. I'm glad we survived that attack.
Yes.
Okay, those are really great. Thanks, guys. Okay, something that I didn't mention because we were, and it came up a little bit because we were all doing it really well. In Epyllion, we are all dragons, and in Dragon Society, there is no concept of gender. So we all use either dragon pronouns, which are Dre, Driss, Drem, something like that, or you could use gender-neutral pronouns like they, them. So really fun things that I love. So we are beginning in the hatchery. You are a cultivation clutch. Your job is to go on journeys into the wilderness on behalf of affinity clutches, which are groups of dragons who are raising baby dragons. And your job is to go and visit the great tree and acquire a guardian seed. Guardians are giant tree people, folk, tree things, I am Groot, that are responsible for caring for dragon eggs on behalf of the Affinity Clutch while they are off doing their daily duties. It is a great responsibility for the Guardian, and picking one takes a certain touch of youth and wisdom and all the things that a clutch exemplifies best. And what better clutch to do that than a group of raw-scaled dragons who are just on the cusp of their lives, and they are willing to do literally anything because they're excited to go out in the world and impress other older dragons. So it sounds like this is Ronald's first day with this clutch. They have just joined this clutch, and Barithi and Tayanite and Nivarik, you've done this a couple of times, but every single time is different. And it is your responsibility to guide Ronald on their first expedition into the wilderness to acquire a guardian seed. So, I need a
Question, Kyle.
Yes, Ronald.
Being a seer, my signature move says that I'm haunted by visions of the darkness, and at the start of the session, I roll plus charm, and on a hit, I've seen a vision of the darkness that will aid your clutch's efforts. Learn something useful and interesting about the task at hand.
Okay, go ahead and roll. Our first roll. I rely on all of you to tell me when to roll, because do I know? No, I've never played this either.
That is an 8. Does that hit? I don't know what.
So for most PBTA games, it is 7 to 9 is a hit, and 10 plus is like a critical hit. What does it say on your signature move?
On a 10 plus, you've seen the true face of the darkness. Ask the DM a follow-up question. So I just get to ask you a question. It doesn't give me examples.
So you did not roll a 10. So
It's a follow-up. On a hit, I get one question. On a 10 plus, I get a follow-up.
Okay. Now I see that. Now I'm actually reading it and looking at the rules and seeing how they work. So on a hit, you've seen a vision of the darkness that will aid your clutch's efforts. Learn something that's useful and interesting about the task at hand. So the night before your first day with this cultivation clutch, you were laying in your nest, the four of you huddled together, resting and sleeping under the moonlight, and you were haunted by this dream of this face that was a face you've never seen before, because you know there are monsters out in the wilderness. It's away from dragon society, and monsters lurk there in the dark, and that are usually scared of dragons. But you've been warned that they do prey on the smaller ones at some time to time. And you see this face of what looks something like a dragon, but the scales are softer. The face is more triangular. It has a long and hooked and forked tongue that like flicks out at you, and the eyes are completely red. The skin is green, almost like Nivarik's skin, but you've never seen this beast before, and you know that this beast is tied to the darkness, and that you should be wary in the future whenever you may see us.
Okay.
So, anyone else have an opening move? It is the morning of your first day at the hatchery, and Ronald, you awake from a somewhat restless night of sleep in your nest, and you are the first one awake. What do you do?
I guess I'm food, because I'm always hungry when I wake up. I don't know what I eat, though, or what is around.
You tell me, what do dragons eat? That's one of the things in this book. It's like, if you don't know, make it up.
I'm just going to have some scrambled eggs. Working in a hatchery, for some reason I just have the craving for eggs.
Might be a little frowned upon, but you go to the kitchen in your nest and you make your scrambled eggs. And let's say, who do you think, who in the clutch would awake to the smells of breakfast being cooked? Who's the?
Well, I'm being a warrior, of course. I'm up early. You got to get your morning workout in. So I'd be up early doing a workout. I think being a rainbow dragon, I would be a fruit-based dragon. I need to eat that to keep my colors bright. So if I eat purple food, it enhances the purple. If I eat red, it enhances the red. So I try and get a nice variety of fruit.
I wish if I ate purple food, I'd turn purple. That'd be awesome.
I know, that would be so awesome.
My hair would be purple. I'm like, yes.
That's what role playing is for. So, yeah, so I'd already be up, having done my workout, and I'll come and see you making eggs.
His family's laying over there, so just.
So, how are you feeling about today?
Confident, yeah. It's gonna go bad. I'm confident it's gonna go bad.
Why?
I'll describe the dream I had. Like, yeah, normally happens, comes true.
Oh no! Something bad happened. Oh.
Oh, there's something bad out there.
Well?
Gotta get your strengths. Gotta have my eggs. Kind of like nothing's gonna go wrong.
You're right. You know what? If we keep our attitude positive and our minds focused on the task at hand, we'll be okay. But eat your eggs. We'll see you there. We'll meet up. Don't you worry.
So
Are we traveling together, or are we like separating?
We'll all meet at the fountain. We're all supposed to meet at the fountain.
Okay. You just gonna let me eat alone, or are you gonna have breakfast with me? Because
I'll have breakfast with you.
yes.
I'll bring in my big bowl of fruit.
I've got like 24 eggs. Just
So as you're having this conversation, we move over to back at the nest where Niverick and Tayanite are fast asleep. Apparently these two like to sleep in.
And it's a night owl.
Yeah. Niverick will just have his like little beak sticking out under a pile of leaves and just like fall out of a little nest onto the ground and skitter like all over to the table and like whip up like a ferret and be like, I heard you make some eggs. I can smell them. Eat what you're gonna eat. Let me know what's left. I'll eat the rest. Yeah.
I'm like 4/5 of the way through, and I don't look like I'm slowing down.
Or I'll find something else. It's all good. And then I'm gonna skitter over to back into my nest and just like pull out a bunch of leaves and just start pecking at him.
I'll give you some. Offer you
Thanks.
some of my bowl.
Tay-Night doesn't crack an eye until the caffeinated beverages are available.
You hear the tea kettle go off.
Yeah. Tay-Night's curled up with Bob, just kind of like a teddy bear, just kind of because they've been out all night.
I'll go over to Tay-Night and like peck at them a little and be like, Tay-Night, your brown morning potion's ready.
Oh, the magic bean.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Have to find more magic beans.
Yeah.
And then they're going to have to spend some time out in the sunlight to actually kind of get moving quickly because they come crawling out of the shadows like, oh. And Bob is doing the same thing. And you can tell they've both been out digging in the middle of the night, out in the nighttime because there's just mud, dried mud on the claws and on Tay-Night's beak, Bob's nose, where they've been just digging all night long, looking for probably tubers and different things, things that they can annoy.
I'll actually pop over to Bob, and because I can speak to beasts like that, I'll be like, "Morning, Bob," and then just go back.
Morning, Niverick.
When Bob skitters in, I'm gonna reach down and give him a little scratch behind the ears because I like him.
Oh, that feels good. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Bob's enjoying that.
It's like a heavy smoker, Bob.
I have like 3 voices I can do. Leave me alone. One is a heavy smoker.
Great.
He has tunnel lung. It's cool.
Okay, so as you guys are around this it's like breakfast table, which is more like a picnic bench out in this field, because the hatchery is like on the cusp of the forest, next to this dragon city, and the architecture of this hut, this hatchery, is like pillars of marble with like domes, and it's very open and spacious. So it's a mixture between you are out in the wilderness and you're also in these like Greek style architecture with like the what's it called, the
Ionic
pillars and the
pillars.
stuff, and the things you got an image. I got
Columns.
columns, Parthenons, just a bunch of columns and pillars and every other word for things like this. And you hear like a soft roar from the direction of the fountain. It's more like is the wake up call, like your alarm clock, like, hey guys, it's time to meet up to the fountain to go to do your daily duties.
I'll hop up like and jump up like a soldier ready to, and I think I have some armor. I think I'll put on a little bit of just protection around the neck and the vulnerable area. I've seen Sleeping Beauty. He throws the sword in the heart. You gotta protect that sword. And I think I'd have like some kind of spear. Seems to be a draconic sort of weapon. And I'll grab those and be ready. And I think they have wings, but don't necessarily fly so much as can glide a little bit. So when there's like a hill, instead of just like running down the hill, you kind of just hop and like a little bit, just kind of.
Yeah, raw
That's
scale
what we can do right now.
raw scale dragons. They can't fly yet. They're still still young. They just like to jump off high things and glide, or in Tanganite's case, fall rapidly.
Yeah.
Well, that's when the head frill comes in handy, because it works as a brake. It just pops out and
Mary Poppins umbrella.
exactly.
Who needs to glide when you can fall with style?
Exactly. This isn't fall. This isn't falling.
There's control.
Control, maybe not, but at least slower speeds.
So you all make your way over to the fountain with Barithi at the helm in their warrior outfit, ready to go, ready to face this wilderness head on. And you come up on the fountain, which is a large centerpiece to the hatchery. There is multiple water jets like shooting up and into like a 3-tiered pool, and wrapped around the fountain is a I didn't write a color down for this one. I wrote a color down for all the other dragons besides this one. We'll say this is a deep black dragon. They have horns that like come off from the sides and wrap around their ears, and then tendrils that come from their snout, and then a long beard that's like a long gray beard coming from their snout. And they are a very old dragon, a bearded dragon, which is there's raw scaled, another one long tooth, bearded. So they're like grandma dragon. This is Quill. This is the head caretaker of the hatchery. They look at you. They see you coming up and coming towards them, saying, "Good morning, dragons. How are you feeling on this day?"
I'm feeling very excited and I'm ready to go. And I'm really interested to meet our new friend here and see what they can do and what's going to happen. I just really like to help.
T-Night just did exactly that, yawned and just kind of blinked at them.
Day and night, you might want to wake up.
Okay. Awake, yes. Eyes open. Awake. Got it.
Did you get your magic bean potion?
I need more.
Enjoy it, because I'm positive we're going to die.
Oh, well. Yeah.
Your glass is half empty, isn't it?
I don't have a glass. I'm going to look around for a glass.
That explains a lot.
Yeah.
Donald, I think the last thing this group needs is pessimism.
Last thing we need is to die.
I agree with that. That sounds smart.
Yeah, see?
No,
Everett gets it.
Yeah.
Well, we're off to a great start. Are we ready to meet the Affinity Clutch, which you will be representing today?
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Bring them in. I like meeting new people.
Okay.
So Quill circles around the fountain a couple times and starts walking off towards a dome type structure that has a curtain of vines and leaves for privacy around it. And this is where an affinity clutch would stay when they are building their nest for the eggs in the hatchery. And as you follow, Quill explain. They look to Ronald, and they say, "Now, Ronald, this is where the affinity clutch will stay. The nest is built inside, and when we receive the Guardian will care for the eggs in this home. Your job will be to meet the affinity clutch and to assess their needs in a Guardian. You will use your best judgment when it comes to choosing a Guardian seed. Are you ready?"
You sure I'm the right person for picking this seed? Like, Barisi seems very well in picking out Guardians.
You got this. You can do this.
As it is your first journey to the Great Tree, it will be your responsibility to make the final decision as to which seed to choose. Your friends and clutchmates will be there to guide you and to help you along the way. But you must make the choice.
We all had to do it, Ronald. It's all right. Everybody has to go through it.
I picked Bob. There we go. Job done. No need to go to the dangerous area.
Bob's not going to do it.
Bob, by the way, is dripping wet because Tay-Night had to go back and get them out of the fountain. Bob likes the fountain.
See, look, he likes this place.
Bob, that is a sacred fountain. It's not a bath.
It's a sacred Bob.
Quill
One day.
opens the veil of vines and ushers you in. And as you go in, you see like a pedestal of stone and on top of this stone structure is a large nest that has been constructed by the 3 dragons that are in this room. In front of you, you see 3 long-toothed dragons, which are adult dragons, which are the typical age that they decide to cultivate eggs. You see a pink dragon who has like a white underbelly. You see an all-white dragon, which they are missing one of their front legs, and you see a baby blue dragon who has lots of tendrils coming down across their face, kind of like dreads, just covering them.
I see the little baby one, and I'm just like,
Not baby as in tiny, baby blue as in color.
oh, I thought you meant okay.
No.
Blue color. No, never mind.
They're all adult dragons.
I thought they were hanging out with a baby. Okay,
No.
I'm less confused now.
So the 3 dragons are watch you as you come up on this pedestal, and Quill introduces you. Says, "These are the members of the Affinity Clutch, whom you will be representing today." They point to the blue dragon first. "This is Haka of House Semscale of Jade." The white dragon. "This is Vizali of Rothscar, House of Gold." And the pink dragon, Bornell, Kebros, House of Ruby. The 3 dragons all nod to you as they are introduced. And Quill continues, "Your mission today will be to venture into the wilderness with their precious objects that they have selected for their nest, and to use them to guide you on your journey." The 3 of you who have done this before would know that when a clutch decides to raise eggs, they each choose a precious object which to represent them, that will be woven into the nest, that will help soothe the eggs and will establish a familial bond in lieu of their presence when the guardian is watching over them. So these are very personal, deeply personal objects that will nurture and help fuel that familial bond. And you've all experienced this when you were first born. Your parental clutch had these objects. It is your job to take these with you and to use them when selecting a seed. So first steps forward, Haka, the blue dragon. Haka not Haka. Bornell, the pink dragon, steps forward first. And in Bornell's outstretched palm, they unfurl, and is a large red ball. It's kind of like a patchwork ball that is worn and is a little muddy in places. It's obviously been used before. And Bornell says, "This is a ball that I used to play with when I was a little dragon. So I wanted my eggs to have this when they hatched, so they could play with it too. So if you want to play with it while you're on your journey, that'd be nice. But yeah, use this to help you." And they offer it to the clutch.
We can play with it. Thank you.
It's a really fun ball.
At least we get a bit of fun before we die.
It's about the size of me, so someone else might need to carry that. Thank you.
Bob's already playing fetch.
Look at the little, what do you call that?
Bob.
Oh,
Look at the little Bob. Oh, I love the ball. And then they sheepishly step back. And then Vizali, the white dragon, steps forward, and wrapped around them, they pull off what looks like a handmade blanket. This blanket is the same color as them, that it's like a soft eggshell white, and they say, please keep this out of the mud and away from the ball. And it's I made it special, and although the babies will be using it, I don't want it dirty for when they are born. So, and then they just like offer it to someone, not to Tayanite and Bob.
I'll take it and put it in tuck it away in like a bag or something.
Thank you. Keep it safe, please. And as Bizali steps back, Haka steps forward, and around Haka's neck is a large necklace that is it is gold, and it has two stones. One is a large ruby, and then a smaller jade descending from that. It's very ornate and beautiful. And Haka unclasps it and offers it and saying, "This I made this special for my clutchmates when we united. It is representation of all of our houses, House Gold, House Ruby, and House Jade. Please keep it safe. It means a lot to me, and I hope to pass it down to my children one day."
Okay, I'll grab it and like wrap it around me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Quill looks to you and says, "Now that you have the precious objects, you are ready. If you have no further questions, remember that these, along with your observations of this clutch, will help you in deciding on the correct seed." Oh.
Well, what can you tell us about yourselves that you think we should know?
Yeah, can I study another dragon? Using the move.
I just got a message from Mike, and I'm like reading it. I'm like, oh, okay. So I'll hold on to that for a minute. Say again, please. Sorry.
Study another dragon is a move that everybody has. So let's see. When you study another dragon, roll charm. I want to study. Which one didn't I get a good read on? Haka. I'm going to study Haka.
Okay.
Charm. Charm of 8. So on a 7 to 9, ask 1. I get to ask, who are they holding a grudge against? No, what are they hoarding? I want to know what they hoard.
What do they hoard? So is this are you asking this question, or are you just using this as like a what you're perceiving from them?
Kind of what I'm perceiving from them, because it'd be kind of rude to ask that of an older dragon.
Mm-hmm. So Haka, of the three in this clutch, Bornell seems to be like more nervous and acutely aware of things. Vizali is a lot more mellow and careful, and then Haka seems to be a nice balance of the two. They are like the mediator, which is kind of representative in their in the necklace that they provided. They are like the glue in this clutch. So they are hoarding a lot of maturity and diplomacy, one might say.
All right, yeah. I think we can help. We can help.
And Barithi, you said something, didn't you?
Yeah, I was just going to ask them if there's anything that they think we should know about them.
Bornell steps forward and Bornell looks to you and says, we just want to make sure that our eggs are safe, and we want them to know that we are a very close-knit clutch, and we want the same for them in their future. No matter what their differences, we are all very different dragons, and we want them to be as open as we are.
Well, I think that's a very noble goal.
I think so too. So, Quill looks to you with his eye like, are you ready? Okay. Then Quill bows to the affinity clutch and thanks them. And kind of just like gestures to you to do the same. It's like, thank them.
Yeah, we're very, very formal, respectful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right. Very awkward. Bow.
And then Bob does the same, like,
Yeah, I'll get very flat and do a little bow.
and then Quill escorts you out of the nest, naming things that are dragon-like. Escorts you out of the nest in this area and closes the veil behind them. You have these objects, and Quill begins to walk towards this large open structure. This would be known as the gate to the wilderness. This is where you will pass through what is the barrier between dragon society and the wilderness that is not protected. And when Quill gets there, there's this large marble platform surrounded by pillars, and beyond that is a drop-off where you see into a forest. And Quill says to you, Ronald specifically, "This is the gate. Your first step on this journey will be to make a leap of faith alongside your clutch mates into the forest below. Whenever you are ready."
Ronald will just go. He knows he's not going to die here. Yeah, he hasn't seen the thing yet.
Tainite goes over to Ronald and whispers in their ear, "Look, I know you can do this. We've all done it. I promise. You're not going to break a leg. There's a lot of soft stuff underneath that'll break your fall. It's great. Just pop those wings and kind of pretend you're like a leaf on the wind. And then we'll watch you soar. Okay?"
On the wind sounds like a very lucky saying.
It is. It's great. Just a leaf on the wind. Watch how I soar.
Can you show me an example of you soaring?
Sure, we'll do it together. Come on.
Okay.
And I link arms with Ronald. And we
I'm going to
step
get
forward.
close to my death now.
And we take the leap together.
I think we should probably have a little bit of a gap, considering our wings are going to be like interlocking.
I'll let you go as soon as we clear the...
Okay. And you just hear a scream of death.
So Tainite and Ronald, arm in arm, run and jump off this cliff face, off of the gate into the wilderness, and followed closely behind by Niverick and Verithi. And Tainite, you watch as Ronald is just face blank, screaming into the wind, which you can't really hear that well because the wind is rushing around you as you nosedive into the woods below. And then you release them and you begin to unfurl your neck and glide into the wind. And Ronald, are you doing the same?
All that's going through Ronald's mind is, my neck doesn't do that. I'm going to die. Then I remember my wings, and I'm like, oh, that's right.
Ronald,
For that split second, I'm like,
You forget that you can float.
Okay, Ron's got a lot going on with his life right now.
Well, I have a prehensile tail. So my leaping into the woods is kind of a series of steps because they'll sort of leap up and then kind of swing a few times on some nearby branches to get a little bit of lift going, fling themselves into the air. And
So
then,
there's like these branches coming off the cliff face, and you're just like swing, swing, swing. Boop.
yeah, and then unfurl the big rainbow wings and float like a big kite.
At the top of the thing after everyone jumps, I'm just gonna like, I always thought it was metaphorical and just like skitter down the side of the cliff. And then leap into the treetops and like brachiate through the treetops.
Nifric said, why are you flying when you could just climb?
Yeah.
I literally followed the worst person for me.
Well, I mean, I as a member of the House of Brynback, the House of Steel, I have an obligation to convince a member of my clutch to undertake a dangerous task and to do so discreetly using my virtue. So,
If at any point, if anyone displays one of your virtues or something you hold strongly, you can give them one of your friendship gems to symbolize they are growing. Your bond is growing. So if you think that this moment with Ronald was a good moment for you,
yeah, I do. I'll give Ronald the gem.
so
This is not very creative. This is scary as hell, and I hate my life right now.
So we watched as the four of you make your way into this off the cliff and into the wilderness below, and we hear behind us another soft roar from Quill as they essentially announce the beginning of your journey to the great tree. And you make your way into the small clearing below where the wilderness parts for you to land. And the four of you arrive, however it is, maybe softly for some, like Tay and Knight and Barithi, and maybe a little more abrupt for Ronald and Niverick coming up behind, just skittering in like, hi. And then how did Bob arrive?
Bob rides on Tay Night
Oh yeah.
behind the frill. And Bob is kind of like Ronald. This whole falling with style thing is not his thing. So he's screaming all the way down.
Bob's screaming, and then a bug flies in, and then it's a small snack for Bob.
Yep.
And Bob's very happy about that, but then continues screaming.
I'm feeling a connection with Bob here.
Niverick hears Bob go, oh, that was gross, but it was tasty at the same time.
I gotta get that protein.
I can do what you gotta do. So here you are in this clearing. The trees are around you. It's like the light is like filtering in from the treetops, and it's very peaceful.
So I have one question to everyone else.
Yeah.
How do we get back up?
Is a cliff.
Yeah,
It's
it's a
a little bit of
cliff.
climb. It's okay.
Yeah. That's
It couldn't like have stairs or something.
Stairs are
There
just
is
a
a long
cliff.
way around.
I mean, that's what the sticky toes are for.
We'll help you. Don't worry.
I look at my talons.
Oh, those are even better because you can just into that. Bob will show you. That's how Bob gets up.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty efficient.
Okay. I'm gonna break a nail. This is gonna suck so much. This day just gets worse and worse.
I know. I did that this morning.
Maybe death will be better off. Let's go.
As you're having this conversation, do you see from the edge of the clearing facing away from the cliff a bit of movement in the leaves?
I will immediately turn toward it and get,
Bob should go investigate.
I'm gonna pop up into the leaves and kind of like blend in with them.
Camouflage dragon. As Niverick climbs up and Berthy kind of steps forward, preparing themselves, you see a strange creature. They walk on two legs, and they carry in their hands what looks like your spear, Berthy, but they don't have scales. They're kind of soft and fleshy, and they have very pale features. And from them, they're like tendrils. Their tendrils don't look as like thick and purposeful as yours do. They kind of look soft, and they kind of like they wave in the wind much more than yours would, than a typical dragon's would. And they just look altogether strange. They, instead of what you would have, like your scales were like, and then a spattering of armor across you, they are completely covered in something that is not their skin and their body. It is a fabric, kind of like a blanket, that is just stretched over them. It is red, and it has intricate designs with green and yellows. And the staff that they're holding has what looks to be another red gem at the top. And
I'll kind of lean in and give this bizarre little creature a sniff.
Tay leaps in front of Ronald, and the frill comes out, and he goes, puff up. They hate that. Just puff up.
Yeah. My neck doesn't do that thing. I'll just put my hands there and be like, puff up.
Yes, puff up. They hate that.
What happens if I wave them around a bit?
Oh, that's even better.
I call that
It just
spirit
really
talent.
jazzes up the whole thing.
Spirit talent.
as
Does it work?
As Daylight is trying to look big and trying to encourage Ronald to do the same, this person starts to very casually approach you, which isn't usual. When you're in the wilderness, Tayanite, Niverick, and Berthy, when you like see wild creatures, they're usually pretty scared of you because they know that dragons are fearsome creatures. Although you are small, you can pack a punch, because a clutch can do some pretty nasty things. And this person just starts gliding over to you with their staff, and they just look at you like, "How?"
I get
Such
right in there
creatures,
and
aren't
give
you?
a good sniff.
Oh, please. They just like push you away with their staff, like kind of like poking at you. Like, "Oh, do not touch me. Do you know who I am?"
No.
Do we understand what they're saying?
It seems
Okay.
like they're speaking dragon.
You speak, and you speak dragon?
Oh, you guys can understand, or y'all can understand them too. Okay, good.
I've studied your kind for a very long time.
Oh, well, it's very nice to meet you.
Mhm.
And I'll sit up and like offer a little finger.
Very nice to meet you as well. And he just like, he has like a glove on, and they just
I've never seen a creature like you before.
I am what you might call a human. We live here in the wilderness, away from dragons like you.
Oh. Well, there's all kinds of creatures living out here. So, that's nice. We're looking for a seed.
Oh, are you? And what is this seed for?
Important things, growing things, seed things.
What kind of seed?
We don't know yet. We'll know when we find it.
I've got to pick it. as I'm still jazz handing. Please not like
And Tainite's going, humans, I hear they taste like chicken.
these were just eggs.
This man like looks over to Tainite like, what did you just say?
I hear humans taste like chicken. That's what I've heard. I've never had one.
That's rude.
Well, I've heard the same of dragon.
Really? I heard we have more of a gamey flavor.
Yeah. I think I'd be pretty tough.
I think it depends how out they are. Like,
Could you
Will's probably very gamey, but
It's all about the seasonings.
And
It's
slow
what you put
cooking.
on it.
are we just all ignoring this guy now? Just doesn't go.
We're
He, like-
exchanging recipes at this point.
He like
How
stomps
do we
it with
cook ourselves?
Do you think that's why he's
little
missing a
lemon pepper,
leg?
perhaps.
Nice-
See, this is why we're the odd ones out.
A little paprika and some citrus.
He like stomps his staff on the guy. He's like, "Excuse me, perhaps you might be working for the hatchery of Topless Cliff. Would you?"
How would you cook one of us?
What do you know about the hatchery? Hang
What
on.
hatchery? There's hatchery?
Yeah, how do you know about that?
Well, like I said, I've studied you for a very long time.
Well, that's kind of rude. That's spying. You've been spying on us.
Well, it's okay. It's
No,
understandable.
spying is not okay.
There's a difference
Well,
between
we-
spying and studying, you know.
Yeah,
I mean,
they live in the forest too. They should
How
know.
did you get up the cliff?
How would I get?
Without break? Yeah, because I don't want to break my nails and.
uh,
Well,
It's a tough
perhaps
climb.
invoking a little moon magic or shadow magic could help you.
They can do magic too. These
You
things
guys
are
can
so-
do magic?
ooh.
I didn't even know I could glide until like 5 minutes ago.
He like looks to Ronald. He's like, "You're not the brightest one in this clutch, are you?"
I'm actually the one that's in charge of picking the seed, so
Oh, whoever made that
Leader.
was a grave mistake.
No, they did
No,
not,
they-
and there's no need to be so rude.
yeah. You're
Well,
just rude.
perhaps you could help me. If I were to escort your group into the hatchery, would you perhaps point me in the direction of an egg?
Why would you escort us to the hatchery? We're not going to the hatchery.
I just want to see what your civilization is like.
Well, if you want to do that, I think we need to speak with the elders and see what the elders have to say about that before we do make
Oh,
that
we
kind
don't
of-
need
You'd have to get permission from Quill.
Yeah, what's
Did
your
you
name?
come from a seed? I may have found my guardian. Like, let's just say, like, this guy could be it.
Oh, that's true.
No, he's not a spirit
No,
of the
I don't.
forest.
What happens if this? If he was a seed and now he's grown? Like, easy
Well,
job. Not
He's
dead.
nice, soft, and I'm kind of like poking at him. He's nice and soft and kind of warm. I bet he'd be really great huddled around the eggs.
Nope.
No?
He like
No.
swats your claw away and like points like the gem at you. He's like, "The next one of you who touches me will become gamier, shall we say?"
What color gem is it again? Sorry.
It's a red gem.
I'm from House of Ruby. I want that staff and I want to look at my gem. Can I
Um,
try and use my whip tail to take the staff from him because it's cool?
You can.
I have a whip tail. I don't know what that is, but
What
Seems
move, what move would you think you should roll for that? We have
that would most likely be a act despite a danger
okay.
because he did just threaten to make us gamier.
He did. So why don't you roll for that? Roll plus courage.
This is goodbye team. I said I'm dying today, and I'm a man of my word. Ooh,
Or not.
on a 10 plus, you succeed despite the odds.
So you describe to me how you use your tail to grab this staff from him.
Guy's hands over to the right, tail to the left. Kind of, get distract and confuse and attack from the other way.
And as your tail wraps around this staff, you kind of struggle with him for a moment as he realizes what's happening. And then you, as a very strong dragon with a surprisingly beefy tail, is able to just yank this out of his hands. And he lunges for it. He's like, "Give me back my staff."
Hey, now, we are attempting some diplomatic relations here.
I really just wanted the gem.
You can't just take things from other people. That's rude.
Well, he's not a good guardian. He couldn't even guard the staff. Like, we have proven.
He hasn't even
Not
told us
the
his
same.
name.
Let
As he threatens Ronald again, Tay Knight's going to jump in and just swing his barbed tail at him, because danger is my middle name. And this is a physical obstacle, and I'm about to overcome it.
Go ahead and roll.
All right. Let's see. So,
I'm sitting here going, guys, whoa, settle down. And you're all just like, murder.
8. He started it.
Not really. You kind of both did.
Oh, okay.
So what were you rolling again for? Were you also doing Access by Danger?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I rolled for courage.
Okay, so you leap in and you swipe your tail at him, and you kind of just nick him in on the leg, and he jumps back, and then he swats back at you with his arm and just like knocks you off, and you roll back, maybe embarrassing you. He says, "Give me back my staff. That is an extremely powerful object, and it is the only way I can wield the magic of the moons. So if you please."
Come on.
Well, what's your name?
My name is Victor, and that is not important at the moment. Give me my staff.
Okay,
So-
guys.
Wait. You're saying if you don't have this and I'm holding the staff up high behind me, you can't do any magic?
Unfortunately, no.
So I might be new at this, but why would we give it back to you? You kind of did swat Barithi away when
Hey,
they were just walking up to be nice.
It is his. Or theirs? I don't know.
He said he was going to harness with it.
no.
Yeah. He's been
Yes.
spying. He was
Not-
going to make us gamier. He's been spying on us.
Threatened, but he's
He
gonna-
wants
Enough.
an egg.
Enough. He starts stepping towards Ronald. He's like, "Give me my staff."
give it back.
You're going to have some Benny Hill running around motion coming on scene?
Please, can you give it back?
Is he going to hurt us? Because now I'm afraid.
No, he's not. And if he tries, then I will get him.
Listen, you took it from him once.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Please give it
Okay.
back.
They talked me into giving it back.
So as you hand it back, he timidly takes it. He's like, "Well,
Okay.
It was
Now,
the initial. Just kidding.
now there's going to be normal fighting. No more arguing.
Did you say normal fighting or no?
No more.
Okay, I thought you meant normal. Okay, sorry.
No
What's,
more.
what's normal fighting?
I don't know. It's why I asked.
Okay. And we have a job to do. And this person is a person from a whole other species that we've never met before that went and made the effort to learn about us. We don't know anything about them.
Oh, so
Yeah,
maybe
they're
he'll take us
squishy.
to his eggs.
So we need to learn some things about them.
Can you take
And
us to
they-
your hatchery?
Yeah, we'll have to do that. But before we do that, we have to talk to the elders. So how about is Quill maybe still nearby? And
This is on the way up there, and we're going that way.
yeah, we can the cliff. Yeah, if you get to the top of the cliff, and look for Quill. Talk to Quill, and then we can learn.
All helpless, aren't you?
No. What if you come with us to pick up the seed, and then you come back with us, and if you have permission then?
Okay.
They should probably just wait here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait here.
You
We'll
know
be
what?
back. Honest.
Yeah, you know what? Our seed mission is pretty important. We don't want to mess that up.
Our first one.
So let's be good.
Fine.
So yeah, if you want to stay here, we'll come back, and then we'll introduce you to everybody.
Sure.
Okay.
I will stay here. You can go on your mission to collect this seed, and when you return, I expect you to take me to the top of this cliff.
Okay.
Well, I mean, you have to climb it yourself. We're not going to carry it.
Yeah, I'm definitely not carrying
We'll
it.
figure
Fine,
something
but you
out,
will show me an
guys.
egg.
Oh, no, we'll take you to the top of the cliff and show you Quill, and he decides if you get to see an egg.
Yeah. We don't get to decide that. We're too young.
I could probably decide if I really wanted to, but I'm
Fine.
like leading this.
Fine.
No, you can't.
Go.
He doesn't.
And he just face palms. Just
We're
Just-
young.
Can I have the staff? No.
Let's
no, this
go.
is my staff.
Okay. Just
What about the
saying.
red stone? Can he have the red stone?
It's a
Yeah,
part
I mean-
of the staff.
Where did you
Well,
get
I
the
mean, it would
stone?
Oh yeah.
Is there more of them?
It would be a really nice gesture of friendship.
I
Yeah.
don't know. It was a
You-
long time ago. It was given to me by a mentor. You can't have the stone. You can't have the staff.
Oh.
Go get the seed.
Guys,
But he wants us to
it's
give
like
you.
no. It's like his. It's like their nest thing.
Oh, is it like his nest thing? Oh,
Yes, it is my
You can't
precious
ask for it.
object. Yes.
Can you be my mentor and pass it down to me then?
If you do what I asked you, we will talk about it.
Okay, let's go.
This guy's pretty cool now.
All right, off we go.
And you run into the wilderness, leaving this man Victor behind, and he just
We assume he can take care of himself. He made
and
it.
he's just like, what have I done? So who gave that? That was a donation that caused that nonsense.
Thank you.
I think that was Mercer. Yeah, donated for that.
I was gonna say, I think if all the other dragons saw that, they'd be thinking, "What have we done?"
You're learning. It's
Yeah.
good.
So you make your way into the wilderness, leaving the clearing behind, away from the cliff top. And the three of you who've done this before know that each journey into the wilderness is distinctly different. The magic of the wilderness that seeps through changes constantly, and no two journeys to the great tree are the same. So as you are walking, the trees grow darker and darker as they grow thicker, and it blots out the sun, and you are just what seems to be making your way through a pathless.
I have my ability is called Spirit Guide, and I'm going to call up a little spirit, which is basically going to be one of the little things from Princess Mononoke with the little rattly heads. And it says, you have attracted the attention of the land itself. A small spirit guide follows you, offering aid and counsel. When you ask him for advice or ask your spirit guide for advice, roll plus charm. And so I'm gonna summon up the little thing and be like,
I love that little.
hey, Bobble, Bobble. Which way should we go, Bobble? Do you know the way to the big tree? And I'm going to roll my charm and see.
Okay.
Oh, I got a 12.
Oh my
Okay.
goodness.
All right, I mark an experience. Bloop.
So,
Okay. And I take +1 forward if I follow its guidance.
so as you concentrate on this spirit that you're connected to, a small light seems to dance in front of you. It's very soft and insect light, and all of a sudden it starts to like extend wings, and you see a bright dragonfly in front of you, like dancing in front of your eyes, and it's like toying with you.
Pick at it.
And it just avoids your blows, and then it turns around and flies around Ronald and like lands on Ronald's nose, looking at you.
This is how it ends.
How? What ends?
Everything.
You have some.
Just follow your nose.
And then it flies off and through the woods.
Let's chase.
Or we could follow that instead of my nose.
Well,
Yes.
I'm saying point your nose in. No, okay, just follow. Yes.
And Tay-Night's just headlong through the shadows with Bob just running along.
I love that you guys love to go as fast as I do.
Go fast.
I think Barithi just loves like just crashing through the woods and bounding around like a dog in a field. I think it's just the most fun thing ever.
So you are all bounding and chasing after this and just like tripping over yourselves to like chase after this
And having fun, yeah.
yeah, you guys are having a blast. This dragonfly is just flying through and zipping through in between trees, and you're following it for some time, and then at some point Bob just like falls off gets hit by a branch and falls off the back of Tayanite, just stumbles back and then pops back up and says, "Oh my goodness, that was a hard hit. Okay, I'm coming, let's go."
Come on, Bob.
So much.
I take the ball and I Bob, come on, let's go.
Oh my goodness, ball. Okay,
Go get the ball.
can I follow the ball? You follow the bug.
Oh, ball's gonna follow the bug.
Okay, ball's follow bug. Ball follow
Yep.
bug. Bob follow ball. Ball follow bug. Bug ball. Bob. Okay.
Yes. Go get him, Bob.
I got it. And he like tackles the ball and starts just chasing after you, like swatting it like he's playing soccer as you run. This is super cute. I love this. So you guys are following this dragonfly for some time, and you are chasing this thing, and you come across what seems to be like a stream in the wilderness, and it's a very light trickle stream that just like comes across your path, and the dragonfly stops and just like turns around and like goes over to Nivarik, lands on your nose, and then flies over to the stream and just softly like lands on a rock in the middle of the stream and just like looks at you, tilts a wing, and Bob's just like, "What? Bug stopped. Bug stopped. Ball stopped."
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna get down real close to the river and like look into the river. Like,
It's not really a river. It's more like just a small stream, like just a trickle of water. There's like light coming through where like there's the clearings in, and it's just like dancing off the water. Oh,
Tay-Night's just gonna leap. Still charging. Sees the stream. Not enough. This is an easy obstacle to clear. Over the. Just takes a leap.
Tayanite, like you just like run and jump over the stone with the dragonfly on it, and just clear over the stream. What's everyone else doing?
I'm gonna bounce onto the rock. I want to like coil and then fling myself onto the rock.
You jump, and the dragonfly like quickly like jumps out of the way, and then lands on you, and you land on the rock.
Oh, nice.
I'll just walk right up to the edge of the stream and dip a toe in.
It's kind of cool. It's a nice little reprieve from the warm forest.
Kind of splash my face a little and look up and down the stream, just kind of observing like there's anything I can see. Which way is it going, sort of a thing.
The stream is just it's intersecting the path, and as you're like stopping and looking, Ronald, you are on the other side of the stream where your clutch mates have begin to go across, or like in the stream, or just like looking around and surveying the area. Ronald, you get this like sinking feeling on the back of your neck, and you're just like, something doesn't feel
feeling, or like something actually sinking into the back of my neck.
Something just doesn't feel right.
We're gonna die.
Like your scales stand on end.
That only happens when I get wet. I don't like water. It's gonna rain, everyone. I feel it.
Do your knees ache too?
It's gonna rain blood.
That's
Probably ass.
Never
Maybe
seen
not
that.
rain because we're already on the ground. It's gonna trickle.
And Barithi, as Ronald and Tay and I are saying this, you notice in your survey of the area that there's like a portion of the clearing across from you that is darker than the rest.
I
The light
Give it-
doesn't quite permeate that area.
kind of hiss at it a little bit.
The darkness hisses back.
It's that thing we fought. They called it a cat. And it was evil. Oh my god. Told ya, we're gonna die. Sorry, Bob out.
We've done this before, Ronald. We can do it again.
We can do it. If it's something, be on guard.
We lost 7 other creatures with us.
Well, I mean, but we were going to eat them anyway, so.
Just
I lost my dinner.
be on guard. Something's not right.
So which side of the trickling water is this thing? My side or the other side?
It's across from you.
Yeah, well, we failed this mission.
You stop.
It's on the same side that Taynite's already on. right?
Correct. It's like behind you.
Yeah,
There's my middle name.
I'm gonna climb over and start heading in that direction to check it
Yeah.
out.
Danger's my middle name. Taynite's running forward, the daredevil. Just full charge.
As you are running into this clearing, you get this feeling too that Ronald has. You know this feeling. This is the presence of the darkness, the shadow that permeates the wilderness and the land of Dragonia. And you are bounding towards it into this the wood where the light just ceases and it is dark around you, and you hear this hissing. And behind you, you can't see your clutch mates anymore.
Oh. Oh. Oh dear.
Do we see them disappear?
Yes. You can't see Tana anymore.
Oh,
turn
because I was
to-
running. I was running right after them.
Barithi, you were running right behind Tainite, and Tainite's no longer in front of you. And as you look around, you can't see your clutchmates anymore. Ronald and Niverick aren't there.
I'm going to turn to Niverick and say, probably not a cat. That's my input to this.
So, question: if I wanted to use a friendship gem to activate some moon magic,
You can roll for moon magic.
okay, I want to invoke the stone moon.
Okay.
Their strength lies in the domain of protection and resilience. So I'm looking for something, a little extra protection and kind of keep myself ready for anything that can happen.
Okay. So you using the magic of the moons requires you to return friendship gems to make it more powerful. So whose friendship are you calling upon to help you invoke the power of the stone moon?
The gem I got from Barithi, because they're the warrior, and so I want to use that bond that we have.
Okay. So go ahead and roll it. Would you like to use any other bonds to help out strengthen this?
And the bond and the gem from Ronald, because I had two of those.
Okay.
Because Ronald and I have faced danger together.
Okay. So go ahead and roll +2 for the friendship gems.
Okay, so
It's just
how do I?
Just roll 2d6 +2.
Okay.
An 8. So you get to choose either the magic's exceptionally powerful or it remains within your control.
Oh, because it's protection and resilience, I think it's, but I've got the two of them. They're kind of almost a contrast, the caution and the fighter. I think it remains in my control.
Okay. So you, in this moment of fear where you can't see any of your other clutchmates, you focus on your bonds with Barithi and this bond that you just formed with Ronald recently when they joined your clutch, and you call upon the power of the stone moon. And above you in this darkness, you kind of see like this flickering of what would be the stone moon piercing the darkness, and the light shines on you, and it radiates from your scales, and it pushes back this darkness just a bit, and you are able to see Barithi. Barithi, you can see Tainite. Tainite is glowing with the light of the moon around them, and the two of you are once again united in this darkness. The Tainite's glowing scales are able to push back the darkness around you.
All right, I'll run right up to them and give them a big hug.
Oh, it's good to see you.
I was so scared.
I know.
This is new. I don't think this
It
has
is.
ever happened before.
I've never seen darkness like this before.
We'll be okay.
Hi.
Ronald and Niverick, you are still at this stream, correct? Are you just waiting to see what happens with Tainite and Barithi, or what are you two doing?
Would Ronald know that Niverick can speak to beasts? You're muted,
Niverick.
buddy.
Sorry, it's pretty obvious.
Okay. Can you try speaking to this thing? Like maybe it'll be like, "Sup, friend."
All right, I'm gonna hiss and then chitter and then hiss again, and then do a low growl like "Brrr," chirp, and wait for a response.
You make these series of noises to attempt to speak to whatever is in this darkness, and you you hear nothing at first. It's just stillness, and the darkness just basically stares back at you, unmoving, until all of a sudden you see two yellow eyes glowing in the darkness. And Ronald, you've seen these eyes before. These are the eyes that were in your dream. And from these eyes, slithering out of the darkness, is a huge snake that is just flicking its tongue back at you. And it cocks its head towards Niverick, who is trying to speak with it. And it just flicks its tongue at you.
All right, I can try to study it. Let's see. I can study it like I could a dragon.
Okay.
So I get the roll plus charm. And 9. All right, on a 7 and 9. Who are you holding a grudge against? Is the character I want? Is what I want to get from it. Or what does your character? What does the snake think or wish I would do for it?
Are you specifically asking this? Are you trying to speak to the...
Yeah, what do you need? Come on, buddy. Tell me what you need.
The snake like lifts up and like perks up at you and just like lifts their head in your direction and says, I want you. I'm hungry. The darkness makes you hungry.
I'll just be like, okay.
What is a what, Niverick?
It's filled with darkness, so
I'm pretty close with darkness myself, to be honest.
yeah, it wants to eat you. So
Me?
let's do something about that. And I'll get kind of like a weasel gets big. I'll kind of do that.
You know, I'm gonna puff on my chest and
It just looks at you like, so tasty. And just start like slithering towards you more and more. And all of a sudden you hear behind you, you didn't realize that he was still there, and he's just playing with the ball, and Bob's just like, oh my God, I didn't see that. What is that?
Bob can burrow through the earth. He's probably just going to start digging.
So
and Bob and I'll start digging as well.
So Bob starts digging behind you guys, and he is just like trying to scurry away from this beast that he's so frightened from. And Tayanite, you feel Bob's fear from behind you through the darkness.
I go charging out to see what scared Bob.
I would follow. I wouldn't let Tana go anywhere alone.
So as this,
I'm going to go headlong into danger.
Okay. So as this,
I have a warrior power, a voice that penetrates the darkness.
ooh.
So I can act despite danger. So I will call if Tainite says there's something wrong with Bob, I will call out to Bob.
So so you call out. What are you calling out to Bob?
Don't worry, Bob. We're coming to save you.
Yeah, but what about us?
Well, I don't know about you. All I know is that Tainite has said that Bob is in trouble. I'm assuming the rest of you are too. But
So this snake is moving towards Niverick and Ronald, and Bob is just screaming, trying to burrow into the ground. And all of a sudden, Niverick and Ronald, you see behind the snake this light starting to pierce through the darkness of the wilderness, and you hear Barithi shouting, Bob, we're coming for you. And Tayanite is leading this charge with Barithi just right next to them, and the snake pops their head up and sees the two of them charging towards it. What do you two do? What do Tayanite and Berthy do?
If the snake is like is clearly, attacking, I'll whip out my spear and point it at the snake.
Tayanite's got the frill out and is ready to use his adhesive toes to latch onto it and start lashing at it with its barbed tail.
So the two of you coming out of the clearing, you start like advancing on this snake, and you would know that this snake is dangerous because it is a monster in the wilderness, and there aren't many monsters in the wilderness who could be friendly. Most of them are dangerous beasts who have been affected by the darkness. And it is like it's like kind of like a dance where the two of you are lashing out against it and poking your spear at it, and it is pushing back, and it's flicking its tongue at you angrily and hissing at you, and you are mostly seeing the light of Tayanite's scales from when they invoked this moon magic. It is doing the most harm to this beast, as the light is casting on this creature of darkness. And as you two are doing this dance where you lash out against it, the light is pushing it back and hurting its eyes, and it is shying away from you.
We try to corral it back into the darkness.
Yep. Put ourselves between Ronald and the Niverick and the snake.
Yeah,
Bob.
and just sort of force the snake back.
Mm-hmm.
So between the two of you, you are able to force this snake back into the darkness, and as soon as it gets out, like into the comfort of the darkness, it just like slithers away, and you see its tail flick and disappear.
Thank you, too.
Oh, that was so scary. Are you guys okay?
I'm good.
I have pushed Bob aside and dug faster, so I forget those.
I'm so sure about Ronald.
Bob, okay?
It's like, move, Bob. I have bigger hands. I can dig faster.
Bob's kind of holding on to Bob's kind of like on top of the ball because he's got to protect the ball. So if Ronald's taking over digging, Bob's just kind of uncovering the ball.
They scared it off.
Sprawley's he's like, did you get rid of it? Is it gone?
It's gone, Bob. It's gone. You did good.
Can I hide the ball in the hole?
Oh, we got to take the ball with us, though.
No, I want to hide that ball to make it safe.
We can't hide the ball. We have to take the ball with us.
Tayanite.
I know. But we have to take the ball with us.
Ronald, put the ball in the hole.
Put the ball in the hole for a minute, and then.
I don't speak face.
You don't.
I have.
It's like looking at you like
I'm just hearing like Tayanite's half of the conversation, so.
Here's some weird mix between a turtle and a wolf and a badger noise. Just.
All right, I tell you what, Bob. You can hide the ball in the hole, but then we have to, for just a minute, we'll make sure that the thing is gone.
Why don't you hide it in a bag?
The ball.
Hide it in a bag.
Oh, that's even better. We could hide it in a bag.
That way it moves with us.
Anyone have a bag?
portable hole.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I do. I have some pouches in my armor, so.
I didn't bring anything.
Yeah, I have pouches in my armor, so I'll carry.
Don't forget to keep it separate from the blanket. Otherwise, they were going to get
right.
kind of.
Yeah. I make room in my bag.
Can I hold the blanket?
That's not a good idea, Bob.
Why not?
Your hands are covered in mud, and we were specifically asked not to get any mud on it. Specifically.
Yeah.
He walks over to the stream and starts like splashing the stream. Like,
But now your hands are covered in water.
nah, no win with you people.
Is there a way over the stream which doesn't involve me getting wet?
Yeah, jump it. It's not It's come on.
There's like a series of stones that the dragonfly was on that you could probably make your way across on.
I'm gonna like tiptoe over there.
Bob's just looking at you like, it's just water.
It's
Um,
okay.
Bob
Sometimes people are
splashes, gets next to Ronald, and then does the whole dog wolf thing, shaking off the water.
I'll just throw myself to the ground screaming, "It burns! It burns!"
After that, Bob just like curls up against Tayanite and starts like purring
Aw.
with their
Sorry.
turtle shell.
It's all right.
Okay. Well, we follow the stream, I guess, and then we'll get there.
The dragonfly is like hovering over the stream now.
All right, let's follow the stream.
I didn't have to cross it.
Well, no, we actually have to walk in it.
Along it,
It-
along the side.
I would rather walk on the side which has death than in that.
All right, you do that.
I mean, if you want to stay behind and be in the middle of the dark forests all alone, that is a choice you can make.
We're not leaving.
Better than being in water.
Nobody's being left alone. We're all in this together.
Come on, Ronald.
So
And we bust out into a musical on the way down the creek.
Yeah, I'm gonna start.
the musical number.
I'm like irritatingly cheerful, so I'm definitely gonna start singing a happy little dragon song.
Is this why they paired us up?
It's a dragon song.
Is this why they paired us up? You're overly cheerful. I'm like, we're gonna die.
Yeah. You need that the contrast.
Bob starts howling in harmony from the back of Tayanite. Along with
Aw.
Dorothy.
You got a beautiful voice, Bob.
Thanks.
I could only imagine, but he still looks like a creature which has been smoking a pack a day for 20 years.
I think you'd like to see him like with a cigar in his mouth for some reason.
Like a corn pop pipe. Like smokes and then chews on it.
Yeah, exactly.
The best thing that came out of this so far is Bob.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
What's the voice of a badger, turtle, wolf? I don't know. It's a smoker.
I don't know. Yeah. A smoker from Brooklyn. Okay. It works.
They're the same thing.
Yeah.
So you guys follow the dragonfly as it makes its way down the stream, and just like before, like this is you're like singing a song and you're like casually making your way because it's been a long day so far. And where the stream cuts through the woods, you can see the sun as it begins to set, and 2 of the 5 moons of Dragonia start to rise over the land, and then slowly a third one. And then it's starting to get darker and darker.
It's so pretty out here.
Yeah, I like the wilderness.
I like the nighttime and the moon. As Tayanite's still kind of moving through shadows, but every time the shaft of moonlight comes through, you catch the iridescence of the scales.
How many of us are iridescent? Is that how I am?
I think Tayanite's the iridescent one. Dorothy is just really colorful.
Yeah, I'm just bright. Like a poisonous animal or something.
Nah, I'm just dull, mossy green fur.
It's so
You
cute.
blend.
Niverick blends in with the surroundings.
I like that. I like the idea that, you know, if they stop moving for too long, we like sort of lose sight of them because they
Where'd
just,
Niverick go? Where's he at?
yeah.
Oh, I'm up here. I'm up in the trees now.
Okay.
You just blend back into the background so much.
We all have our place.
Mm-hmm.
Mine's hidden. Out here. I like it out here.
It is very nice.
I just hide in the darkness generally.
Nah, it looks like you're hiding the light too.
Yeah, well, something could have been coming for Bob from underground, so I was just trying to protect him.
I understand.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah,
you gotta
Just-
protect the bow.
it's okay. Just next
We're not
time.
judging you. Don't
I don't see you doing anything.
I was keeping it
Standing.
occupied, staring it down, waiting.
Yeah.
Waiting for them to come.
Besides, I'm the fighter here, and I learned to fight so I could defend you guys.
Yeah, you're not
I'm
alone.
the
right?
seer, so I see stuff.
And I
What?
believe you.
You can see
And-
we're gonna help you.
I saw that last night.
So what? The
Wait.
snake?
Yeah,
Well, you lived, so good.
still gonna kill us.
Well,
Is that what happened when you saw it last night?
Nah, I woke up. Then was in the mood for eggs.
okay.
I never watch it all.
So that's good to know because that means that the snake might come back. So we need to be very cautious.
Yes.
We'll keep an eye out.
We're
Preferably
strong,
two.
and we're stronger together.
Yeah.
You know,
Twice.
kind of like give Robert a pat on the back.
That's why you ran off and split up from us. I see how it is.
I had to fight the snake.
I see how it is.
I think they call that a flanking maneuver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was doing.
hmm
Flanking underground. Would not suspect the attack from a dragon underground.
You know,
It'll take him a
you're
while.
not wrong.
It's true. And you were protecting Bob and the ball, which are important.
hmm
Yeah, it came from the best house, that bow.
Okay.
Okay, I keep telling you.
I'm just humoring Ronald at this point.
So there's no actual bed out here. Like, let's just clarify. I'm not gonna sleep in a bed.
We're not stopping. We're gonna keep going.
Yeah. We gotta keep going up the stream here. We gotta
Wait, we're
Vibes.
not stopping.
Yeah, I know it's time for my manicure. Like, if I don't have this done, I already missed the one at lunch and the one after
Guys,
breakfast.
come
We
on.
missed lunch. We missed lunch.
This is a one-time thing. You can
This is your fourth time doing this mission, this quest. It's not a
know.
one-time thing.
Well, I mean,
the first
it's not
time
like
is the one-time thing.
we don't do it every day.
And your first mission is special.
Of course, because it takes longer than a day to get here.
Neverick.
Hmm.
Tell him to eat the bug.
I no.
But I had a bug for lunch earlier. It was tasty.
I mean, eat bugs, but not this bug.
Why not? It's pretty. Probably
Yeah.
tastes good.
It's a good bug. I need this bug. This bug likes me.
You can make another bug.
The bug is my friend.
Tayanite.
Yeah.
Tell Never to eat the bug.
We're following the bug. If we eat the bug, then we can't follow the bug.
More bugs will come.
No. I don't think so. I think this is a special kind of bug, and if we eat it, then Neverick's going to be all just kind of, I have to make another bug. It's not all that easy. I hear a dangerous creature.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry about that.
No, it's
Trying to figure out if that was one of mine or not.
like we're being stalked.
I planned this. There's sound effects and everything.
Death is coming for us. I reckon that last sentence from Bob sounded like an actual defeated sigh. It's like,
But Tayanite.
What?
You should tell them to stop and to like go to sleep because it's getting late and like we need to go and like adventure.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Go
And
to
we high
sleep,
five.
guys. And like you guys, the Ronald and Bertha just see as Bob is just like howling at you, like in your direction, like, "Rah, rah." And you're just like, what is happening?
what did he say?
It's late. You guys should go to sleep.
I mean,
We can't travel through all night. We have to be rested when we get to the tree. Especially Ronald, because he's got a hard decision to make.
That is true.
I've worked out how I'm making this decision. It's very easy.
How?
Okay.
It's a secret.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna dart off real quick and then come back with something not entirely unlike food, which for me might be sticks, and leaves and whatnot, and then some branches, and if I could find any nuts or if I could find any small game.
You just
Bob's
come back-
digging for grubs.
Yeah, Bob's just like new bugs.
Badger wolf turtle soup. Mm.
No.
Never comes back with like a branch that has leaves and like maybe a couple like fruits on it, some berries.
Calling it granola.
It's from the granola tree.
That sounds poisonous, to be honest.
You can go hungry.
I will, because I'm already going out without a manicure. I'm pretty certain food is not on my list of concerns right now. No comfortable bed.
I mean, I can make a comfortable bed. And I just swirl up into a tree and just rub my antlers up across one of the pieces of bark and like rub it off a little and then pull some of the leaves around me.
It may sound like Ronald's crying himself to sleep, and that's because he is. That is true.
It might be because it is.
Is
So Niverick is up on a tree. He's like huddled in the corner, just like sleeping in their natural habitat. And Ronald is just weeping on the forest floor.
not quietly either. It's like a howling cry. Like
It starts off as like a slight
Aw.
whimper, and then it just gets worse and worse. And he's just like, "We're not in the nest, and there's no manicure for me."
I'll cuddle up to him and give him a hug.
it's all to keep the scary creatures away. It's a tactic.
Yeah.
It's because I
okay,
can't
just get a
jazz
hug.
hands while asleep
Still
in
gets
the
a
big
hug.
way. Like he is an ugly crier too. Like they are. It's just like
All of a sudden, he's
mucus
got
running out the
mascara.
nostrils.
And all of a sudden, he's wearing Ronald's got mascara running down his
Yeah.
face.
It's just not
Still
fair.
wearing mascara, but somehow it's still
Yeah.
It's not fair.
And
you get all the hugs.
Tay Knight and Bob sneak off. On the shadow trek, I've got one of my things is to seek isolation or solitude. And Tay Knight's just been kind of like, I've been with these people all day. I've had enough. I need to get away.
Where is that?
Did you get
my
injured or
shadow
something?
track under shame.
Did you have to take a shadow
Oh,
track point?
Yep. I'm going to take a mark. I was going to mark a shadow as we.
okay.
So being in the darkness and dealing with the snake, but there was something just about being in the darkness that kind of made Tay Knight head that way.
So you just like go off like with Bob in tow, trying to get some space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're gonna find like our own deep shadows. That's darkness without being the darkness, and just kind of be away from the whole thing for a while.
So you just like make your way through the trees to not too far, but just in a place that's a little darker than where you were before, next to the stream, and away from everyone else. And Bob just looks. He's like, "You okay, Tay Knight?"
Yeah, we're just you said you wanted to get away for a little bit, so yeah, we're gonna get away from him for a little bit.
Well, yeah. We usually get away. We usually go on adventures at night, but you look a little sad.
Well, we already had an adventure today.
Oh yeah, too much adventure.
Yeah, just kind of need to get away from it all.
Yeah, unwind.
Yeah.
You wanna sleep out here, away from them?
Yeah, I think I do.
Okay. Maybe
We'll curl up together.
maybe in the morning we can find some magic beans.
Oh, I forgot to bring the magic beans. I didn't think we were gonna be here overnight. Oh,
Sometimes it gets a little dark and I get scared.
well, I got you. Don't you worry, Bob. And I make sure that like just part of the tail is in a shaft of moonlight so that there's a little bit of iridescent glow so that Bob has a little bit of nightlight. It's a nightlight.
Oh, thanks, Tay. Thanks. I really liked it when I saw you jumping out with all that light on you. That was really pretty.
What? Did it look cool? Did it look
Yeah.
cool?
You and
Yeah.
Brithy look badass.
Oh, yeah. We're cool.
I like Brithy.
Berthy's cool.
I wish I could talk to them.
I'll bet Niverick could help with that. We'll talk to Niverick tomorrow.
All right.
Okay.
That sounds like a deal.
All right.
I'm gonna
Go
go.
sleep.
Okay, sorry.
That's all right.
All
We're
right,
just-
for going off.
Immediately snoring.
For going off on their own, should I give, because my virtue is independence, can I give Tayanite a friendship gem? Because I respect them going off and being independent from the rest of the group and sleeping on their own.
Absolutely.
So take a friendship gem.
Oh, thank you.
Niverick's like, you know what?
I get that.
Do you. You do you, Tay Night.
Cool.
So Niverick is up on the tree, curled up, going to sleep. Ronald is weeping with Barithi wrapped around them below at the base of the tree, and then Tay Night.
Quill was right. There's some things worse than death.
Yeah, it's listening to this.
I'm like trying to, soothe them a little and maybe tell some dumb jokes or,
Paying zero attention to anyone but myself.
Okay. Then after a while, I'll just lay there, let you have your moment.
Slowly, you all fall asleep. It's a restful night for most of you, except for Ronald, who is haunted by another dream. And Barithi, you kind of wake up in the middle of the night as Ronald is just like shaking next to you.
Oh.
And Ronald, this dream is you see the face of that giant snake again, but slowly half of the snake kind of just descends into darkness, and then emerging from it is the face of Victor. So you just see this like juxtaposition as the face of the snake and the face of Victor kind of meet and make one. And then there's like a flash of the red light from the staff.
The stuff, is that gonna hurt anyone?
And then Barithi, as you just kind of like cozy up against Ronald and like Ronald begins to go back to sleep, you find yourself to sleep too. And then morning comes. Yay!
Hey!
You will kill us.
What was that?
You killed us, Brucey.
Yes.
Just letting you know now, you're the reason we're all gonna die.
But I'm so sweet.
Niverick, I actually think you're the first one awake to this morning, as like you're up in the treetops and like the first like shine of light from morning kind of finds you, and you look down and you see Barithi and Ronald curled up together, and Tayanite and Bob aren't anywhere to be seen right now.
I'm gonna like crack my entire back in like an S shape and okay.
Dragons are basically just cats at this point, I think.
Right. And then I'm gonna like clear jump off the tree and then go hunting for a little something for Ronald to eat in the morning.
Everyone cares for Ronald.
Ronald's the baby.
Cares, yeah. Doesn't want to hear about him, more likely. All right.
So Niver, you go off into the forest, and you actually kind of stumble across where Tayanite and Bob are sleeping. And next to them, you find like a little bush
All right.
that they didn't see in the darkness. A little bush of what looks to be beans, maybe.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna pick up the whole bush and just like put it on my just carry it with me for a little.
Tayanite, you are woken up by the sound of an entire bush being removed from the ground.
Earthquake!
Earthquake! Oh my gosh! Battle stations!
No.
What?
Calm your tails. Come on.
What is it?
It's me.
What was the earthquake?
Oh, I found some of those beans you like.
You did? Out here?
Yeah. You were basically on top of them.
Oh,
Couldn't you smell them?
no.
I just figured that's why you chose this place. Okay. Well, good.
No,
good.
allergies. Is it the pollen? Just both tucked up. The caterpillar thing.
Okay.
Maybe it was your subconscious saying this is a good spot because of the beans.
Yeah, you know that could be.
It's like
And I
our,
hugged the brick.
our dreams came true, Tayanite.
They
Maybe-
did.
Maybe you
Maybe-
manifested them in your dreams.
Maybe we're the seers.
If
I
only.
see.
And
Oh.
trudging back to the group.
We follow.
I see so many things.
You ate the mushrooms again, didn't you?
They look tasty.
I told you not the spotted ones.
Oh, these ones had stripes and spots, but I thought that would be okay.
Nah, the plaid ones especially.
Oh gosh. I'm gonna have to use the bathroom soon, probably.
Probably.
Oh goodness.
Have some magic bean soup first.
I hear that helps it along.
Yes.
All right.
So Niverik and Tayanite, you two come back to the tree where Barithi and Ronald are sleeping, and you two, I guess, start preparing a small little breakfast out by the stream.
Yeah.
Because breakfast is what we do in this game.
Breakfast is amazing.
Dragons and brunch.
We're the breakfast club.
The breakfast clutch.
We're the breakfast clutch. That's who we are. We are the breakfast clutch.
I love that. All right, wait, who's the princess? Who's the Bob is the princess.
Yes, totally the princess.
Ronald's the basket case.
Yeah.
I am not a basket case, thank you very much. But as Ronald opens up his eyes, he just lets out a blood-curdling scream as he realizes he broke a nail during the night.
That's one way to keep the animals away.
Oh. Well, I'll when he finds out, they find out that they've broken a nail, I'll kind of help them fix it a little.
It's just not symmetrical. It's not scary anymore. I'm useless.
You'll be all right.
So as you are all preparing and eating this breakfast, Niverik, you see your little dragonfly friend come down and just sit in front of you. And it just looks at you again.
I'll just roll a berry over to it.
The spirit dragonfly eats the berry. Spiritual dragonfly eats things now. And then eating the berry, you see another glowing dragonfly come down and sit next to it and start munching on the berry too.
Huh.
And then a third one.
Huh.
And then as you look up, there's just like a various glowing dragonflies flying around you. And one just seems to fall on Barithi and just rest on them.
Oh, hello. Give him a little scratch. But let's get walking, guys. We're almost there.
So, funny story. I had another dream.
Oh.
The snake was there, and then half of its face turned into Victor,
Okay.
and then the light from like his staff, which I could still have if I didn't give it back, like went off, and then I woke up. So snake could be Victor.
Yeah.
He could have lied and moved.
Absolutely. Yes.
And we drove him off then twice. So
We will thank you for the warning. Will everyone be on guard? Keep your eyes open.
So you all start making your way back down the stream, following this now group of dragonflies. There's still that one that's slightly bigger than the rest that's leading the way. And it's now like a lot brighter than it was the previous day. And very quickly, the trees become sparser. And it kind of just like breaks. And you find yourself in this opening where the stream falls and kind of pools into various little ponds. And then beyond that, you see a magnificent and large tree, a willow tree that like hangs down in the center of this clearing. On the pools, you see the dragonflies congregate, and they kind of just play in the air. And then Ronald, you see what you have never seen before, because when you were just a child, you only saw your one guardian, this hulking beast of a tree creature that has like a glowing center of a face. It's like almost like a cyclops that is very gentle and like has flowers growing from it and leaves and can care for things with its hands. But you see multiple guardians just walking through this clearing. There's one that's just sitting in the pool with the dragonflies, just like playing with the dragonflies. There's a few caring for the great tree, and there's a couple others that are just like walking the perimeter of this clearing. And the three of you who have been here before, it looks different. Every single time you come to the great tree, it's different. It's such an arcane and magical place. It's ancient, and it seems to change based on the journey that you have taken. And you always seem to find a group of guardians there taking care for the tree. What do you do?
Isn't it beautiful? I never get over how beautiful it is.
Can they escort us back?
Well, let's go get our seed.
Technically, we got part of the tree. They should protect it all the way back.
We'll work that out, but I know you're nervous.
That's kind of our job, is to protect it on the way
What?
back.
Why doesn't Quill just like fly here, pick the thing, and fly back? Like,
It's so that
he's doing nothing.
Oh,
They're doing nothing. They're just walking around the statue 3 times. Maybe if they only walked around it once, they'd have time to come pick up the seed.
You know how old people are.
yeah, it's also to prove ourselves.
It doesn't need to prove anything.
It does too.
I don't need to prove anything, though. I'm amazing.
You are, but you know,
It's just
Doesn't hurt.
it's a thing. They
okay.
call it Pledge Week.
Gosh. Is Quill's probably Victor?
never know until you find out, and then you know.
Then yeah. Or I see it.
Well, then you know.
That's all that matters, right?
No.
That I know.
Do you know that I know that you know?
Now, I'm just gonna wander off.
Okay.
First,
I'm gonna
you
go
start
look at
moving
the
towards
tree.
the tree.
Yeah. I'd like to go look at the tree.
Are you
All
all
right, so
following?
Yeah. Yeah.
it's my job to pick the seeds. I'm feeling all confident now. I'm going to start strutting in there like I'm the boss. Coming to inspect the production line.
So, as you get closer to the great tree, it seems to only grow and grow as you get closer. This is a magnificent tree. It is extremely large. It's probably stood here for thousands of years. There's almost like a veil, like the hatchery had, where the branches fall and just protect the inside of the tree. You can't see where like the trunk is and what's underneath. And as you get closer, one of the guardians comes and meets you. And just as Quill lifted the veil for the affinity clutch, the guardian lifts the veil of the great tree for you to enter. And as you come into the center of this tree, you see this giant trunk. And at the base of the trunk is a moonstone statue of a great mystic dragon. And dancing in the air around you are many of the dragonflies, these spirits that led you to this to the grove. And above them are the seeds. They are giant oval-like seeds that are like almost like giant walnuts, I would imagine, and they reflect just like the guardians have that open glowing space in their faces. It's almost like one of the seeds can fit inside the guardians. And this dragon statue at the base, you Niverick, Tainite, and Barithi, you would know this to be the statue of the great mystic. Where's my notes? Naruth the gardener, who was an ancient dragon who decided to become a mystic because they tended to the great tree and the guardians. And when their time came, they decided to rest here and provide aid to all of the clutches that came seeking a seed.
And I'll tell that to Ronald. I'll be like, this is Naruth the gardener. This is what we hope to be someday.
A statue?
A great inspiration to everyone and everything.
I'm already that. So mission accomplished.
I'm just looking around at everything in awe. Like I'm so I'm just impressed and inspired, and like clearly this is the kind of thing that I want.
I'm trying to keep Bob from digging holes.
So what do I do with the bowl, the rug, and the necklace thing?
The you.
Like, how soft's this bowl?
What was that?
How soft is the bowl?
Imagine like a quaffle from Harry Potter, because that's what I modeled offered. It's just like it's like a hard shell and like leather laid around it. So it's not that
So that's super soft. So I could realize I could use the rug as like a bed, the bowl as a pillow. Like hindsight.
2020.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take out the blanket. Is there like sort of an area at the center, like under the tree?
Yeah, the area is like flat grass. It's all like very very well kept. It's the ideal front lawn.
Okay. I will take the blanket that I've carefully been caring for and lay it out on this sort of empty space, and just kind of invite the others to put the objects down as well.
Yeah, I'll put the necklace in a big big open loop in like the center of it. Careful not to put any talon prints on the blanket.
Yeah. Tana finally gets the ball from Bob and puts it next to the blanket, remembering not to get the blanket dirty, and trying to keep Bob from walking on the blanket and walking off with the ball.
Oh, come on. I want to play with it. This is a great place to play.
I know. We'll find something else to play.
Chase some dragonflies, Bob.
Dragonflies.
They like
Go
that.
chase.
And Bob just like runs out from underneath the tree, chasing some dragonflies. Ronald, you looking at this scene with the precious objects in front of you and this moonstone statue of this dragon in front of you, you see as this pedestal this dragon is sitting on, an inscription begins to almost like write itself, like the light kind of catches and it seems to just appear in front of you, and it says, "Tell the guardians who they must protect."
Ronald.
Niverick, you would know that this is what happens when a dragon first comes to the gardener, that this inscription appears. And Ronald says that.
I think they've already done their job protecting you, Ronald.
They could do it a little bit longer, don't you think? I don't know the name of the Egbert. I don't know. Have they named it yet? Do I need to say their names? What name did you say?
What did I say when this happened?
Yeah. You don't remember, do you?
It's been a while.
I said that I wanted them to protect all of Dragonkin and our future.
I said
That's pretty much what I just said.
I said I wanted them to protect the being that will be.
Leader. A hero among everyone. Again, what I just said.
You got a lot of darkness in you, don't you?
I told him I wanted to protect the clutch of, and the names, and give the names of the dragon service. Let's see. I wanted them to protect the clutch of Coro, Alyssy. Who was the third one? Oh, who was it? I can't. Oh yeah, George. Never can remember George's name. It's a hard name to remember.
George.
As Tayanite says, as each of these Barithi, Niverick, and Tayanite said these things, you watched as the seeds above you almost begin to like flash in various colors. Barithi said that they wanted to protect all of Dragonkin, and certain seeds lit up and then faded. Then Niverick said that they wanted to protect the who would be, and another group of seeds began to light up and then fade. Then Tayanite started listing these names, and then a large group of seeds lit up. Then certains died as they said another name, and then a few were lit, and the third name came and they all died.
And no seeds lit when I said Ronald. Ronald's going to go, hold on, I'm just going to call a friend. I'm going to use my worm tongue ability. I'm going to return one of Niverick's gems to him, and I need to return a gem, and I can ask the darkness for something I need. So I'm going to turn to my shadow and be like, hello, darkness, my old friend. Can you highlight what seed I need, and I'll just take that one? And it says the DM will tell me what it costs, and if I pay the price, the darkness will deliver it.
I want you to tell me What on your shadow track do you think you're feeling that is stumping you here? Anger, doubt, shame, fear?
Doubt. He would doubt that they can choose the right exceed. And it's kind of rejecting a tradition of Dragonia by like not saying the name.
Okay. So I want you to mark that shadow, and I want you to roll shadow magic.
Ah, Jesus.
So you're not going to mark another one. You're just marking that one and rolling.
Well, I completed my obligation though, so huzzah for me. Just mark a shadow while engaging with darkness. So shadow magic's plus
shadows marked, so +1.
Oh. Nine.
So a 9. On a 9, you harness that same magic, but it's powerful, almost too powerful. So you implore your shadow to aid you, and from around you kind of just like seeps up into the air and then makes its way towards the top of the tree. And the seeds almost light up in response to the presence of the shadow. And the seeds begin to fight back as you are using shadow magic. And the shadow, like, just like Tayanite, when they fought off the snake and the shadow could not handle the light of their moon magic, the seeds begin to almost outshine this darkness. And one of them falls to the ground and just wilts.
I'm not choosing that one. That one was weak.
The statue of the mystic almost begins to like shake as new inscription appears and says, "What do the objects tell you?"
Ronald's going to get as close to the objects as possible and try and listen, because he has no idea what he's doing. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm getting as close to them and trying to listen, but I don't hear anything.
Just listening to them?
Just listening. Literally, I've taken it as literal as possible.
Berthy, Tayanite, Niverick, what are you doing? Just watching?
I'm appalled when I see this use of shadow magic. Just like monocle dropping, kind of. You know, how dare. And I'm going to rush over and pick up this withered one. And kind of look it over and just sort of sad for it, I guess.
The shadow is like clearly permeated the seed as it was one of the seeds that fought back with its light, and this was the one that succumbed to the shadow.
Why would you do this here? In this sacred place?
I'm going to say score one to my shadow, though. Like, that's probably not the best place to be saying this, but I told you, I'm not good with picking stuff.
All you need is confidence. The whole point of this was to make you believe in yourself.
All right. Ronald, look at me. Look at me in the eyes. Look at me in the eyes. Look at me in the eyes.
still laying on the ground with my head on the blanket, looking up, trying to listen.
I will get on the other side of him and like lower myself into his eyes and be like, listen, it's metaphorical. You can do this. You're good. You've got shadow in you, but everything does. You don't have to let it win. You don't have to let it be you. You can let you be you and the shadow be the shadow, and you can beat it. Don't roll your eyes at me. I get when he rolls his eyes up, I get taller to go where his eyes go.
I'm just trying to understand what you're saying. You be you, shadow.
Is think of the emotions. Think of the craftsmanship. Think of the fun. Think of the care. Think of those things. You can do this.
And Tayanite's whispering, pretending to be the voice of one of the objects, going, "You want to grow up? You want to be a grown-up dragon? It's all about being mature. It's all about being diplomatic."
See, you're saying that, but then Ronald's just keeps going, I was meant to die on this trip. That seed died. Maybe that is the correct seed.
No, the seed
anymore.
died for you. The seed died for you. Listen to me. I'm a bull. I know what I'm talking about.
One of the dragonflies just like flies over, and just like they've been doing this entire time, it lands on your nose and just looks at you, and then flies over to the ball and starts like moving it around and like pushes it over towards you, and then glides over to the necklace, and the light from the dragonfly just like glints off the jewels in the necklace, and then it rests on the blanket and just kind of like snuggles into it.
Yeah, Ronald has no idea.
Don't you see? It's comfort and love and companionship.
And playfulness.
Yeah.
What they said.
And balance between it all.
Mm-hmm. They said they were all very different people, but they all brought each other together.
Okay, so I need a combination of 3 seeds mutated together to protect.
Yeah.
As Barithian, Tayanite, and Nivarik were saying all these virtues that the dragons entailed, the same thing happened as before. The seeds begin to light up in different collections and different arrays, one by one, and then in groups, and then they also died out.
I'll just point to the second one. It's probably not. I want that one.
Okay.
It's not how you thought this would go, is it?
I'm just like, Tayanite's just like, be mature, grow. And Ronald's just like, nope, not doing it. Bob scurries up behind next to you, is like,
Ronald,
He says.
I just scream back at it.
got this.
What'd I say?
He's gonna bite you if you don't do something. If you don't take this seriously.
Fine, I'll pick up the bowl, go to the statue, and be like, what seed is associated with whoever owned this bowl?
a group of seeds light up and they stay lit.
I'll take one of those seeds. Because the person which owned this bowl is from the best house ever. My house.
Bob like starts like face palming. Just
Bite him, Bob.
And
I'll grab every item and be like, is there one seed that all these 3 items have in common with?
so you present this collection of items to the statue. And then a dragonfly comes down and just looks at you like, oh, Ronald. If a dragonfly could say, oh, Ronald, you sweet, sweet thing. And then the dragonfly like glides over just like it did before, starts with the ball. A group of seeds light up, goes to the necklace. Fewer seeds are lit. And then goes to the blanket. And then just one seed is lit.
See? I'll take that one.
Yeah.
And if that is not the correct one, you can shove this joke in the darkness and then not getting a protector for their kid.
Go get the seed.
Yeah, you
Said
understand?
my shadow to get it. I won't.
You get rid of that
Okay.
thing. It's not allowed to be in this holy place.
It's my shadow. And you will have shadows.
Yes.
But yeah.
And I know better than to bring them out somewhere like this.
So I'm going to point at the one seed that's left lit up. And I so hope that's the correct seed I need.
They're all the correct seed. It's just
Well, why didn't I just do the first one I pointed at?
go get that one.
The dragonfly flies up to the seed and slowly and gently removes it from the tree and then very gracefully glides it down. And in front of you, you have this seed, this arcane seed.
I just want to gently just throw it up in front of me and catch it. No, it's not that bad.
Yeah. See? It's good.
Pretend to drop it, but no, I'll catch it instead.
That oof. Yeah, hey.
Ronald, don't break it. You gotta take
It's
care
heaps
of it.
smaller. It's heaps smaller.
I honestly don't know what happens to anybody who's broken an egg because it's never happened before
As you see this,
that I know of.
the guardian from outside pushes the leaves back and enters this clearing, and then sees you holding this withered seed, and stretches out their arms and hands.
I give it to them.
They did it.
I point to Ronald.
Bob offers to
pointing.
bury it.
I'm pointing to Bob.
As they hold
Don't
the seed
bury it.
in their arm, in their hands, it's a tree, so it's not like crying, but you feel sadness coming from it, and it raises the seed up, and then you can't see it anymore because it's above you, and they cup their hands closed, and when they open them again, a group of dragonflies flies out.
I'm just staring at this in wonder. Like, this is the most amazing thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, the group of dragonflies had 0 chance of protecting a hatchery. Like, luckily I didn't choose that seed.
Yeah, you're so smart.
I don't know.
It took you no time to choose a seed. You did a great job.
How'd you get the right one? You can't rush perfection.
Well, they certainly rushed you. I'll mark a shadow for that one if you want.
Would that also count as humor for someone's
There's no shadow for the
No,
team.
there is mock or belittle someone vulnerable, for shame.
Yeah.
Wait, really? Is there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where-
Well, if you're, I think it kind of more depends on the intent, where you're trying to be mean or.
It would definitely tried to be sarcastic.
So This guardian parts the leaves again for you to exit the clearing.
Mhm.
And as you continue on your journey and you leave the great tree behind, carrying in tow the precious object and this arcane seed that will once you return become a guardian, you begin to exit the grove of the great tree, and the grove kind of just like seems to close around you, and the stream that was leading into it just kind of like dissipates into the wood, and there's a single dragonfly that like sees you out, and once you are clear, it flies back in. So you make, oh my goodness, yes, no, you make your journey back to the clearing at the cliff face, where the gate to the wilderness lies, and it's somewhat quicker than before. Not somewhat, it was much quicker before this. The wilderness is like shaping around you, and the stream just brings you right back into it with just like an hour or so of travel, unlike the day and a half it took you before. And the stream, where it wasn't in this grove before, there seems to be a stream that just cuts off and just like changes direction, not like a stream should, where it should just lie linear. It seems to move and adjust accordingly, and it brings you right back to the cliff face.
Is Victor there?
See, you say that, and then where is Victor? And you hear a groaning off to the side at the base of the cliff face.
I go look.
Yeah, same.
And you find that snake you saw before. But the snake has like some lumps in the middle of it, almost like the size of a person. And next to the snake is this ruby staff. And the snake is just like catatonic from eating so much.
Would I know that snakes don't digest immediately? Like there might be a chance still.
I might.
You might. That's true.
Also, this is a magical snake in a magical world.
So, yeah, so who knows?
Yeah.
Who cares?
It's a snake fueled by darkness.
Yeah. And Tay-Night's going, you know.
I'm gonna, I'm not allowing a creature of darkness to feed. I don't care what it feeds on. And she's gonna they're gonna get very very serious all of a sudden and go just, I think they're gonna try and so since the snake is already pretty lethargic, they're gonna go and pick it up by the tail and start squeezing.
Tana's like, oh, all right. And he goes over to the snake and he pries the jaws open.
Yeah.
Between Barithi and Tayanite, who squeeze Victor out of the snake.
Which I'm sure does not make the snake very happy.
That's imagery. That's some serious imagery.
It's kind of like the opposite of getting a dog to swallow a pill, where you're going,
drop it.
So
bad dog.
So Victor just comes out completely covered in mucus and ink from being inside the snake, and he is like, oh my goodness, oh that was completely awful. Oh.
This is how mammals reproduce.
You just birthed the Victor.
It's like this, like that scene from Ace Ventura when he's coming out of right off.
In case you didn't know.
I look at Victor and I go, is that true?
Unfortunately,
I'm gonna take the snake and over my head and like whip it around a few times and throw it away.
You just team rocket it into the air. And it just whistles and goes flying into the wilderness.
Wait. No, I've got the staff. But as Barithi throws it, just take the
Between the
staff.
two of you, Barithi throws it, winds it up into a ball, like ties it up into a knot, and then just chucks it at Tayanite, who just throws it into the wilderness. Victor, who is just sitting on the ground, he's like, I'm done with dragons and the darkness and these beasts. Give me my staff and I will leave this place.
Here you go.
Thank
Okay,
you.
Be well, travel safe.
Bye.
Didn't you want to see the hatchery?
Not any longer.
Oh, well, you can come back another time, and don't worry, we'll tell everybody about you and to be nice to you.
Oh,
Yep.
I'm sure you will.
Yeah, just climb the cliff. Look for Quill, big black dragon, got a beard.
Just ask nice.
Got things on his face like you do. Only they're not, like that. It's just kind of like this.
Perhaps one day,
Not as sticky though.
I'm sure. And he just like starts limping off.
Okay,
Sorry
well,
about your
bye.
partner.
Bye, Victor.
bye. Well, I feel pretty good about that.
Yeah.
So I have to climb a cliff.
Such a bunch of dumbasses.
So you climb this cliff back into the hatchery and you meet Quill at the gate. And you tell them of your journeys. And Quill almost seems to understand and know that this was going to happen. They are not like appalled by the story of the shadow attacking the seeds and killing one of them.
I had to make sure it was strong.
They just look at Ronald and say, next time you will do better, I hope.
Oh, I'm not going again.
We will discuss this later.
There was no bed.
I just imagine him, Ronald, the whole time, just like crossing his arms like a toddler, like, no, go.
Just,
A broken nail.
if you send a manicurist with them, I think, send the manicurist with them. They'll go.
And
Will,
I got wet.
I'm sorry?
Okay. I got wet.
Yes.
The no bed, I could do. The no eating, I could do. I broke a nail and got wet. That is where I draw the line.
Well then, let's deliver the seed to the clutch and see how
Oh, they're gonna be so
Ronald will
excited.
continue with this.
And maybe an elevator to help us get up and down from this cliff, because
You're
I don't
such
have neck things.
Will just sighs and starts walking off.
I know exactly how you feel, big guy.
Or
I'm dragging Bob out of the fountain again.
So
I'll follow.
after trudging along, Ronald and his angry little toddler phase, Barithi excited to see the guardian seed with their family, Clutch, Niverick, and just beside themselves with the attitude of Ronald, and Tayanite trudging a wet Bob back.
Who makes sure to get up next to Ronald and shake.
As punishment.
Drops to the ground, holding the seed, screaming, "It burns!" In front of everyone.
Quill just picks you up and just sets you back down. I ask for 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes of some level of maturity.
Well, I should probably leave.
No, you have one last job to do. And he just like pushes you in front of them. And you arrive back at the nest on top of the pedestal, and the three Haka, Vizali, and Bornell are waiting there. You return the precious objects to the nest, and the nest kind of just like grows around it, almost like the is sentient, fueled by the energy of like the guardian seeds and the hatchery, and it just grows around it, and they intertwine in the nest. And you lay the guardian seed, as per Quill's instructions, into the center of the nest, and the vines of the nest around the precious objects seem to converge to the seed as it blooms into a small guardian. And you have successfully delivered a guardian to their affinity clutch, where they will care for the eggs to come.
That never gets old watching that.
It's so amazing.
So our payment, are we going to get that now, or?
I'm going to swat him up, like, upside the back of the head. Just whack.
What?
Enough.
Do we have to name the child?
Smarten up.
Ronald II?
There's no child yet. The egg will come now that there is a guardian.
So wait, I did that and there's no egg yet?
Yeah, that's how this works.
Guardian comes before the egg, not the egg before the guardian.
I'm guarding nothing right now.
You didn't pay any attention in classes at all, did you?
What's class?
Oh, you were homeschooled. Got it.
That explains all.
That explains a lot.
And I think with this argument, we close on our tale of baby dragons on an adventure to help other baby dragons.
There was no other baby dragons, okay?
Baby dragons having baby dragons.
Listen, I
There was a guardian.
a nice like closure where like the moment under the tree was like happy,
Mm-hmm.
and
We couldn't let that stand.
I was waiting for like a moment of maturity from Ronald, and it just never came.
Nope.
No.
You were like, I'm going to be a stubborn brat till the end.
I cooked eggs for myself. Thank you very much. That was as mature as I was getting. It was all downhill from there. I cooked my own breakfast.
All right. So, want to do some outros as per Mike? So, how about we go around and say who we are, where people can find us, and talk about what we liked from the show? Starting with Madfish.
Yeah, I am Madfishmonger. You can find me online at Madfishmonger. I do some writing and a lot of role playing and sewing things, make dice bags and whatnot, so you can check that out. And I will be on some shows. I'm on some streams during the week, so you can come check those out too. I did like this game a lot. This is definitely set up a lot like the kind of free-form role play that I used to do when I was a kid, before I even knew what role play was. And it's a lot of fun, and I definitely would have loved this. Even more, like if I'd run into this when I was young, I would have been totally obsessed with it. And I like all the questions. I like the options and the way that it gets you into the character and making the character. It's fun. And this was definitely a strange motley crew of dragons.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Bob was the best. Bob was totally the star of the show.
Okay, and Barry?
Dermot Barry. Yeah, I can be found at Dermot Barry on Twitter and on Twitch. I've just recently started DMing first time on stream. And pretty much like the first time with D&D started Thursday night with Horde of the Dragon Queen. So that's not as hectic as this, because it's got structure. Because I'm in Australia, the time zone difference, I made Ronald up like half hour before we really got inside. No idea. I was like, shit. When I saw your names all Barithi, Tayanite, and Ivrik, I was like, I'm just going to go Ronald.
So naturally, I made you the star of the show.
Don't ever do that again. But I wasn't the star like Bob was with his smoker voice. I just really wish I could have communicated with him, because that would have been
A lot of arguing.
yeah.
All right, and Kevin.
Hi, I'm Bisonic Kevin on Twitter. You can find me over on the Welcome to the Party channel most Wednesdays, except for this coming one, where we're going to be starting in 2 weeks a mage game set in 1888 London. It's part of a overarching World of Darkness mega plot that's going to go on for the next good while, and it was a blast. We just finished up our game of Vampire. That was amazing. So yeah, come check me out over there. I had a blast doing this. I love throwing weird voices into weird time zones. And it was great playing with all of you. I love these characters. I hate Ronald, but I love hating Ronald.
Yeah.
I hate Ronald as well. I'd want to punch him.
But yeah, thanks for having me. It was a great time.
And Cleric of Cord.
Hi, I'm Kat. I'm at Cleric of Cord. I have a pinned tweet on my profile page. You can find me there on the Twitters with the various places that I'm be. I've got games going now on Sundays, Mondays, and Tuesdays and Thursdays. So check there. A couple different channels, different times. It's all there. Come check us out. Tana, this was fun. This was a blast. The thing about Powered by the Apocalypse games is the way everyone that I've come across, they have these questions that you're trying to build your characters together. It facilitates cooperative storytelling so well, and not just with the players, but with the DM. And Kyle nailed it. This was great. I love the story. It was fun. We had choice. I mean, you gave us a sandbox to play in, and that's always a good time. Always a good time. And you put up with our bullshit. So, and you voiced Bob.
And
you gave us Bob. So
you gave us Bob.
Well, you brought him to life.
What voice do you give a turtle, badger, wolf? Brooklyn
Exactly.
Smoker.
Perfect.
Exactly. It was awesome. It was great. I love this. I'd like to play this game again. I've never heard of it. It's the first time I've ever seen it. And this was worth getting up at 5 a.m. for. Go donate.
Yes,
donate. We raised
that is true, and I am back. Yeah, we're at like 125-ish right now. This was awesome. I got to listen to Dragons. This was hysterical. Bob was great. Ronald was outrageous. This was a blast. You guys seemed like you were having a good time here, and as was I, and as was chat. Yeah, guys, we are a little bit under halfway through our goal. That is 1/4 of our games done. We are coming back with Masks up in a little bit. Then we have some D&D 5e, and then we have some For the Queen run by Katie Faze. So that's going to be an awesome rest of the day, guys. So stick around. We're going to take a short break. Thank you so much, Solution, for that raid. We're going to be back in like 5 or 10 minutes. We're going to set up for the next cast to come in, and we're going to run some superhero games where I'm not playing a dark and broody guy from the corner. But that being said, we'll be right back, guys. Stick around. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.